Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of Pan the Organizer. So today I'm giving you a master class on the winter preparation and detailing of your car. And that's important not only to make it look great, but also make it easier to clean and ultimately make it safer to drive. So you know the drill. Without further ado, stay tuned. Let's go ahead and start the show. So hey guys, I'm Pan. Welcome to the show. I hope you guys are having a great day, so let's dig right into it. But before we go ahead and do so, if you want to continue to learn more about car detailing, so all the products, equipment, tips, tricks, and techniques, make sure that you hit the subscribe button that's found under this video. And that way you'll subscribe to my channel and never miss my future videos. And while you're down there, hit the bell icon, that's the notifications icon, and that way you'll be notified every time I upload a video to YouTube. Also, don't worry, I'm going to talk about a bunch of products, tools, and equipment in the video. And to make it simple for you guys, I'll include the links to those tools, equipment, and product in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. So you just have to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So as I said, today we're talking about the winter preparation and detailing tips. I'm going to break that down into two big categories. So first of all, we're going to talk about the detailing preparation of your vehicle. So everything to make the vehicle look right, so to enhance, but more importantly, protect it for the harsh winter months. Because, well, there's a lot of road salt on the roads that is used by many municipalities and cities around the world. And that can have magnesium chloride, calcium chloride, a bunch of crazy stuff. And that could deteriorate your paintwork over time and a bunch of other components on your vehicle. We're talking about the elements as well. So snow, freezing rain, sleet, ice, all sorts of stuff, including the sun's UV rays as well, because even if it's winter, we still get that. So we're going to address all of those things. And in the second portion, we're going to talk about tips and tricks, of course, how to survive those winter months. So things like emergency car kits, how to check for the batteries, the tire pressures, what tires are on your vehicle, windshield washer fluid, all sorts of awesome stuff. So you want to stay tuned all the way till the end. So tip number one is to wash your car and undercarriage. So the undercarriage portion of your vehicle rarely gets addressed, but there's many attachments that you can add to your pressure washer. And those are basically rolling units that you slide underneath your vehicle, and it basically sprays water all underneath the undercarriage to clean that. So you want to remove any previous road salt, any grime, any dirt and debris that might be there and might accumulate moisture and a bunch of other grease and stuff over time. So you want to clean undercarriage. And of course, you want to clean your vehicle. This is the basis of all the following steps. So do a 2-bucket wash or a rinseless wash or whatever method you have that you prefer, as long as you use safe washing techniques, and go ahead and clean the entire vehicle from beginning to end. Always work from top to bottom. Of course, the top surfaces are usually the cleanest and the lowest parts of the vehicle are the dirtiest, because that's the closest to the road and that's where you get all the tire sling and road grime and basically all the snow, the sleet, and all that crap during the winter months. Tip number two is to protect your vehicle with at least some sort of paint protection. I recommend using a paint sealant. So that typically gives 5 to 6 months of protection compared to Carnauba waxes, which only last 1 to 3 months typically. So they're a synthetic paint protectant, and that's super easy to apply. The majority is in liquid form. So you take your microfiber applicator or your foam applicator, you spread it on the vehicle, you buff it off, and you're good to go. And if you want the ultimate form of paint protection, go ahead and apply a ceramic coating. Those typically last upwards of 2 years. So you're going to apply 1 or 2 coats. Of course, read the instructions of the product that you're using. But essentially, they have a large scale of resistance to chemicals, typically from pH 3 all the way to pH 12. So they can resist acidic-based products. They can resist also more alkaline-based chemicals. They're very durable over the months, have great UV protection, great slickness, great water beating and water sheeting. They have self-cleaning properties. So that means that the vehicle is also very easy to wash during maintenance washes. So dirt and debris has less of a tendency to stick on the vehicle. And it basically makes maintenance a breeze, has strong, very strong UV protection, and of course adds tons of gloss. So regardless of what paint protection you're applying, because there's also currently a lot of popular ones that are called silica spray sealants. So they're basically diluted ceramic coatings in a spray form. So they're much easier to apply and still can last 6 months all the way up to 12 months, depending on which one you're getting. So durability is definitely there, and you absolutely want to protect your paintwork. You can use the same products, by the way, on on your headlights and taillights as well. And the majority of them too can be used on your exterior plastics. Of course, again, follow the instructions on the label. While you're at it, don't forget to apply some protection to your door jambs, to the hood jamb, and also the trunk jamb. So those are areas where a lot of dirt, if you wash your car, you'll notice that it tends to accumulate over time. So by having protection there, well, again, that dirt is not going to stick as much and is going to be a lot easier to clean. So the whole purpose of this is not only to enhance the finishes, but also to protect them. You want to protect all the surfaces on your vehicle, especially the outside portions, because those are the ones directly affected by the outside elements. Tip number 3 is going to be to protect your wheels against the elements once again by applying a coat of protection. So typically wheels are clear coated just like your paintwork is. So 99.9% if you purchased a vehicle, well, the OEM wheels that come with the vehicle are clear coated. So you want to treat that just like paint, and I recommend either a silica spray sealant, once again, that some of them too you can spray and rinse off. So for higher convenience, to be able to reach inside the barrels of the wheels and to get deep inside there and have the entire wheel protected, you can use those spray on and rinse off protectants that are very, very easy to use. They'll give you many months of protection and again, make maintenance cleaning super easy. At the bare minimum, once again, apply a paint sealant. So that should last a few weeks, but it has a tendency to break down a bit quicker on the wheels because of the higher temperatures that you get with your brakes, obviously, and they're directly exposed to harsher elements, so on the lower portions of the vehicle. So I still recommend a silica spray sealant or a ceramic coating if you can have access to that for your wheels, because that's pretty awesome. But at the bare minimum, or a wax or a paint sealant, if you reapply often and you stay on top of your maintenance, you should be good to go. Tip number 4 is to apply a glass sealant on your windshield and your side glass as well, but mainly on the windshield, because you're going to make the windshield hydrophobic, which means it's going to help repel water. So water is going to bead off and sheet off the glass very quickly. It's going to make it less dirty over time because less dirt sticks to it. And also it's going to make cleaning it a lot simpler, but you're increasing visibility and clarity when driving, especially in inclement weather. So that is key. So you're going to want to do at least a basic preparation of your windshield, such as claying the glass and then going ahead and apply your glass sealant. But you can also machine polish the glass with a specific glass polish. There are many products out there, but basically it's going to exfoliate the glass from any grease, any traffic film, any crap that's on there. That's if you want to do a top job. So you would basically clay the glass first and then machine polish the glass with a glass polish. And you can use something like a rayon pad if you have a machine polisher, because rayon pads are thinner, but are made specifically to polish glass. Don't forget, glass is a lot stronger and harder than your paintwork, so you can apply more pressure. So those rayon pads are really made to do a great job. But at the bare minimum, you can also do that glass polish. You can even do that by hand if you don't have a machine polish. That will still work fine enough. So you're basically, you're decontaminating the glass surface by claying and chemically removing any impurities with the glass polish. And then you're sealing that finish off with either a glass sealant or even a ceramic coating for glass. So to have the ultimate glass protection. And again, you're going to have a much safer experience while driving. And it makes the glass so much easier to clean, because also ice and freezing rain and all that stuff has less of a tendency to stick strong when your glass is protected, much easier to scrape off, and it won't accumulate as easily. Tip number 5 is, while you're at it, if you're doing a glass sealant application, make sure that you clean your wiper blades. Over time, those blades, they accumulate a lot of gunk, because think about it, they're wiping right on the surface of the glass, so they're basically scraping off any residue as well, and over time they can get abraded, so replace them if need be. If they've been on your vehicle for many, many years, technically every 2 years you should at least looking into that to make sure you have new blades that are efficient, so you get no streaking also, and make sure you remove any gunk. I have a tutorial on that on my channel, but basically it's taking any alcohol-based glass cleaner at bare minimum, or an IPA even, and pinching the tip of the blade and running your microfiber towel with that product on it to remove any gunk. You should see a lot of dirt on your microfiber towel, and don't worry of drying off the rubber. You're not doing this every day. It's just once in a while for maintenance. There's no damage done. And as you're applying the glass sealant to your windshield, you can also apply a bit of that glass sealant to the blade. So it's going to make the blades, of course, slide a lot better on your windshield, and you're going to get some awesome wiper movement and get a very clean windshield when you're wiping. So tip number 6 is to apply some sort of a tire coating instead of a tire dressing. So a lot of tire coatings out there are acrylic based, so they last a lot longer. Instead of lasting a few days to 1 or 2 weeks for most water-based dressings, you're going to get a tire coating like the Adams Tire Armor, which I reviewed on my channel, and there are other tire coatings as well. So that one is acrylic based, and it will last for 3 to 4 weeks, at least in the winter conditions that I drive in, which are super harsh here in Montreal, Canada. And if you're in more normal weather or not as bad as we have, you can expect over a month of protection. But basically that coating is going to coat the surface of your tire and make dirt, mud, and all that crap accumulate less easily on the surface, so it's much easier to clean and you don't have to reapply a dressing as often. So always before applying any dressing or coating, you want to make sure you prep your tire correctly using a degreaser or a tire cleaner. So that's going to remove any of those ozonites or that browning from the tire, remove that surface dirt, because you want to get your tires as squeaky clean as possible, and then you apply your protection. It's going to make it last a lot longer. And having a tire coating on not only extends the periods of time where you need to reapply, but makes cleaning a lot easier. Because again, all that mud, all that dirt, that slush, the ice, and that crap will have less of a tendency to stick on the surface of the tire. Tip number 7, apply an undercarriage spray to those inner fender wells. So if you have those plastic inner fender wells, you're going to use that, and that undercarriage spray will not only make them look blacker and nicer, so give that deep clean look, but also it's going to make it much easier to blast off any snow or ice that's in there. So again, we're always talking about enhancing the appearance, but also the maintenance, facilitating maintenance, and that's a big one. And also if you have those carpeted well liners like I have in my wheel arches to reduce any road noise, you know how dirty those can become. So one trick I found that reduces that is you can apply a ceramic spray coating. Yep. The typical ceramic spray coating you apply generously on those inner fender wells that are made from that carpeted material, or even a fabric coating. If you have a fabric coating, there's a lot of fabric guards out there. You can apply that, so it's going to make water repel, and it's just going to make cleaning a lot easier. So now that the vehicle is fully clean and protected, it's going to make maintenance washes a lot easier. Your vehicle is going to look awesome even during those winter months, and of course it's going to make it much safer to drive. And talking about safety while driving, now we're moving on to the portion of the video where I give you some general tips on how you can have a better experience of winter driving. A lot of it is common sense, but there are things that, well, our fathers used to teach us when we used to grow up and start driving our cars, and we can pass that on. But if you're a new driver out there, or just sometimes you forget about these tips that could be very important, well, here they are. So tip number 1 is going to be, of course, to make sure that you have appropriate winter tires. If you're driving in inclement weather, especially if you're in that northern portion of the USA or you're in Canada, winter tires are key. So you want to make sure to have proper winter tires. If you're in more decent weather, at least all season tires, but you're going to have better stopping distances and better traction if you have those winter tires, because they can dip a lot lower in those temperatures. And the way the treads are made, they're made to evacuate water, sleet, and all that stuff, so you can have better traction. And of course, the stopping distances are a lot shorter if you have the appropriate rubber. Don't forget, a thing that has always impacted me when I was younger is a mechanic told me that your vehicle, you never want to skimp on the quality of tires, because it's as big basically as your fist. You have 4 contact patches just as big as this, and basically that's your only lifeline with the pavement. So you want to make sure you have good quality tires, and if you're in a place where there's a lot of snow and ice, get proper winter tires. Tip number 2 is to check the pressure of your tires very often. So I would say at least once every week or every 2 weeks, get a tire pressure gauge and measure your tires' pressures, because it's very important. As the temperatures go lower, well, the tire pressure also goes lower, and you want to maintain that to optimal running specs. Typically in the driver's door, you have a sticker that tells you what are the optimal tire pressures that you want. So make sure you adjust them to those temperatures to make sure you always have optimal pressure in your tires. Not only would it have more even wear of your tires as time goes on, so you won't have any bald spots or flat spots on your tires, but again, it's for your security, guys. Tip number 3, Check your battery. Make sure that it's functioning correctly, that it has the voltage that's necessary or that's healthy for your battery, and also that it has enough cold cranking amps for your situation. Typically, I always recommend that people get a replacement battery if it's time with the highest cold cranking amps rating, so the highest CCA rating that will fit for your vehicle, because as the temperatures drop, the amps needed to start the vehicle go up, so you need a lot more power to start the vehicle. So the more cold cranking amps you provide to your car, the better the startups will be. Tip number 4, apply a silicone-based spray that's made for door jambs, door sills, and basically rubber. And that way, when you rub that into the rubber, it makes it more supple, but also it prevents water from sticking to it as much, and it won't freeze during the winter months, and your doors are going to open and close a lot easier, so that's a top tip. Tip number 5, depending on what sort of vehicle you have, you might want to look into an anti-rust treatment or rust proofing. So for the engine bay, the doors, of course, inside, because they shoot that stuff, the trunk area, but more importantly, the undercarriage, so and the inner fender wells where the suspension components are and all that good stuff. So check with your local rust proofing company. Tip number 6 is to use a quality windshield washer fluid, guys. So not only do you want a windshield washer fluid that will go low in the temperatures, obviously you want it to resist to the colder temps and freezing, a quality windshield washing fluid will also keep the optical clarity of your glass and make the cleaning of your glass a lot simpler as well. So another place where you do not want to have some cheap stuff is for your windshield washer fluid. Tip number 7 is to get a good quality snow removal brush and a good ice scraper. So for the snow removal brush, get one with the tips that are always flag tipped. So more of like a brush that doesn't have the stiff bristles at the end, so you want to have that plush feeling. So those typically are the feathered ends, and that way you won't scratch your finish as much. And never try to remove all the snow. That's another trick. If you don't want to scratch your paintwork, try and leave like a small layer on there if you can, as long as it's safe, of course, to drive, and you'll minimize the chances of scratches or swirls. Or a trick that I like to use is you can wrap a microfiber towel around the head of your snow removal brush and put elastic bands on there or figure a way to attach it. And that way, when you're brushing the snow off, well, at least you know you have a high quality microfiber towel that will not scratch your finish. And of course, the ice scraper is important, because if you do have a thick layer of ice, you want to break through it easily. So if your snow removal brush doesn't have one, or is too cheap, because sometimes they're made out of this cheap plastic, or you can get a proper ice scraper tool, and yeah, you'll just have an easier way to break through the ice if need be. Tip number 8, get an emergency assistance kit that contains stuff like first aid items. You can get a blanket to stay, of course, dry and warm, and jumper cables as well. So God forbid your vehicle would stall on the highway or any back road, or you're far from civilization. You just tuck it inside your trunk and you forget about it. And that day when you need it, well, it's going to be there for you guys to use. Tip number 9, check your owner's manual for the oil viscosity or the oil grade that's recommended for your vehicle. Some vehicles have a specific grade for the summer months, and others have a specific grade for the winter months. So make sure you check to know which one is right, because you want to have proper lubrication when you're starting your engine, especially in the colder months. And if you can, well, ask your mechanic if a synthetic oil might be recommended for you, because synthetic oils typically resist higher differences in temperatures, so are better for very hot days when you're starting your engine, better lubrication, but also a better lubrication in the super cold temperatures. Tip number 10, if you want to make sure that everything's fine and you're not necessarily mechanically inclined, well, go to your local mechanic and have a quick once-over done to make sure that your vehicle is ready to go ahead and tackle those winter months. Because of course you want to be safe in the way you drive, but to make sure that you have that, well, everything has to be performing to optimal levels, so they can check everything and let you know what needs to be addressed. Of course, well, try and get some references if you don't already have one, to make sure that you have somebody that you can trust, because you never give your vehicle right to somebody that you don't necessarily know or you don't know the reputation of. So find a good reputable place and just have the work done if you can do it yourself. So guys, those are my tips and tricks. In the comments section under the video, let me know which tips you might have. Maybe there's some I forgot or some that you want to share. It's always nice to have people give comments down below, because as a community we can grow together and see what other good practices are out there. Again, I want to remind you that all the tools, products, and equipment that I spoke about, I'll leave the links in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to show me your support by smashing that thumbs up button. And if you want to continue to learn more about the wonderful world of car detailing, to get all the products, equipment, tips, tricks, and techniques, make sure you hit the subscribe button that's found under this video. And that way you'll subscribe to my channel and never miss my future videos. Guys, thanks for being there. Thanks for being faithful to the Pan the Organizer channel. I truly appreciate you guys. You have no idea. We've built one of the biggest and fastest growing car detailing channels out there, and you guys are a part of this adventure with me. And yeah, many awesome things still to come. So in the meantime, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you on the next one.